Mike, this looks a little bit different than Georgia, doesn't it?
A little different scenery around here, Bill.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Putnamville, Indiana for the very first regional qualifier for the National Equipment League. I am here with current champion, Mike Simon, AKA Dirt Perfect.
Glad to be here, I'm excited.
I am the commissioner, and we have 4 operators here hailing from Indiana and Ohio to compete for a spot in the next big National Equipment League tournament in Georgia. In Event 1, each operator will break out of the starting blocks by setting aside some landscaping timbers and then proceed to dig a 15-foot long by 12-inch deep trench that Bob Brucken of Diamond Equipment, our sponsor here today, will test for compliance within 2 inches of that 12-inch depth. They will then move to stack 6 cinder blocks in 2 columns, 3 blocks high, that they will later have to transport as part of Event 2. And the first of those competitors here is Cullen Fountain. He's ready to go. Cullen Fountain joins us from New Philadelphia, Ohio, and is the owner of Fountain Excavating. I don't think we make them wait anymore. I think we hop right in.
Let's do it.
All right. Cullen, on the count of 3, we're gonna go. 1, 2, and 3. How you doing, Mike?
Good, how are you?
Ah, man, this is good. I'm good. We're gonna get out of Miles' way here. Miles is the important guy. So he is taking slide the timbers out of the way with the bucket route, which there's the danger of it right there. There's a gentleman in the competitor meeting early on who went ahead and kind of gave that tactic as an idea to the team, and that might have been some gamesmanship because it did not work out for Cullen.
So what, Bill, you've kept me in the dark here a little bit. What is the ultimate goal here? What are we trying to do?
So here they have to break out of their operator station by moving the 3 timbers away,
okay.
And then move to a trenching station here where they're going to dig a 1-foot trench at a length of 15 feet. And then Bob is going to measure that trench once it's done, and anything outside of a 2-inch tolerance on either side will inflict a 15-second penalty. But the goal is to try to get as near to that 1-foot depth as possible and to be as close to that 12-inch goal as possible.
So I like what we're doing here because there is so many skills in this task right here that apply to a real-world job site. I could go on and on, but this is also a very similar competition to what we do on the national level for the Skills USA.
It is, yep.
So,
and Bob helped set it up that way just for that reason.
I like the idea that you're also getting gauged on time and quality.
Yes, yep.
It makes you fight that battle of how fast I want to go, but I can't screw this up.
Exactly. And some people, it's a 15-second penalty if you fall outside of that 2-inch tolerance at any of the 4 spots that Bob will measure throughout the length of the trench. But I think with our operators today, I think we'll see some people do it without incurring that penalty.
So I can't help but notice this machine we're using. This is the first time we're breaking the paint off the bucket.
This is thank you Hyundai, thank you Bob Brucken Diamond Equipment. We are breaking the paint on this HX48 as well as the 2 CTLs we have here as well. And for those of you that don't know, later tonight, Clash of Champions. Bob has given Cullen the go-ahead. Cullen is now repositioning to the 3rd and final station on this particular task. And so Mike, what operators are going to have to do now, and there's a little bit of risk built into this as well, and that later in the next event they're going to have to move this pallet with the blocks stacked the way they stacked them. They have to grab these blocks and build 2 stacks of 3, and they have to stack them in a way that you would feel comfortable moving that pallet to a final destination, which will be a big part of the second event.
This one here is also kind of speed versus reward because as durable as those blocks look, they can be quite fragile.
They can be fragile. There is a 10-second penalty for breaking a block.
They have to be 2 individual stacks of 3, correct?
Yes, 2 individual stacks of 3. And what will be interesting to see as we go through this here today will be how they go about stacking them as to leverage, them leaning against each other for that transit.
I've got all kinds of ideas running through my head of how I would attack this. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys.
Well,
that's part of the fun of this competition, is seeing how everybody strategizes and attacks these tasks different ways.
And I'm glad you're thinking about it, Mike, because you're going to have to do it here later today. This is part of the Clash of Champions event that'll happen later tonight.
Well, I'm impressed so far. Ditch looks good. Stacks are looking good. I think the difficult part's going to be carrying this thing around.
And you'll see he is stacking them in a way, and that if either of those stacks tip, they're not going to tip into each other, which would be something that would help support them in a run. So this might.
My thought would be, since you're tracking the machine this way, I'd stack them long ways.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's a crapshoot. Could go either way.
We'll find out here, because unlike what we've done at the national level, we're going to move right into Cullen running his second event immediately after the completion of this one.
Which makes sense, because he has to backfill his own trench.
He's got to backfill his own trench. He's got to stack his own blocks. And there it is. We have our first
casualty.
He's still stacking it. We respect that.
Got a 5-second penalty since it's
10-second penalty. No. And time. Cullen Fountain with a time of 5 minutes and 20 seconds in event 1.
Nice job.
Mr. Cullen Fountain, that was a beautiful trench, a good first run. How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. I knew I was going to break at least 1 block, but I feel pretty good about that. So we'll see what everyone else has today.
It was very smooth. You had great control with the thumb, the block stacking. That went well. What was your favorite part?
Ooh, definitely the trench, because I enjoyed digging in the dirt, so we'll take that.
Nice. Well, you did real good. Good job.
Well, Mike, what did you think of his first run there?
For the first time out, that was very, very impressive.
And now, unlike any other time before, he's going to be the first one out in event 2 as well. In event 2, they're working with the job site they left themselves with. They're hopping in the CTL and backfilling the trench that they dug, then dropping the bucket, putting on a set of forks, grabbing that pallet of cinder blocks and trying to keep them steady on the pallet as they race towards the finish line here at Lincoln Park Speedway. Cullen Fountain, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, on the count of 3, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and go! So step 1 here is he's got to backfill his own trench up until the point that Bob says it's okay. Big shout out to Tommy Estes and the team here at Lincoln Park Speedway. Awesome host this week. He's being a little loose, a little careless.
We demoed one of these Hyundai CTLs, and they're pretty quick.
Pretty responsive on the controls. There are things he could. Oh, I see what he's doing.
Let's see if Bob approves this technique.
No.
Oh, rejected. QC.
That's what we love about Bob Brucken. Bob does not mess around. He takes this very seriously. Bob blesses it. All right, on to the next. I don't know if I've ever heard a National Equipment League broadcast that quiet. We were all waiting with bated breath to see what Bob was going to do.
He has definitely set the standard for what the quality level is going to be on this.
Yes, he has.
You never know what I'm going to do, so there you go.
All right, so a quick change.
Quick change over to the forks.
Hydraulic quick attach, everything's done from the cab. This is going to be back that precision versus speed.
See, now he did what every single operator there does, which is he used a little downward pressure. But he could have used the bunny ears on the back there to confirm it was locked in. He lost a second or two doing just that. All right, he has picked up.
Here we go.
He's
This is
picked
going
up
to be
his
the make or
pallet.
break.
Now he is dealing with the consequences of the way he stacked his blocks.
There's so much to be gained or lost here, Bill, so much.
For the folks at home, the rule is if it falls but stays on the pallet, you're good. If it falls but comes off the pallet, you need to stop the machine, safely exit, restack your blocks, and then be on your way.
This transition onto the track is going to be...
You knew that when we came to a dirt track that we were going to have to find a way to use the track and the finish line. Cullen Fountain now down onto the skirt of the track here at Lincoln Park Speedway.
I'm afraid he's being too conservative,
And
Bill.
he's gauging how much
Here we go.
time. 2:47 for Cullen Fountain.
Mr. Cullen Fountain. That was awesome. You super hauled ass at the end there. I was worried they were going to fall, but they held on. Tell us about it. How'd you feel about it?
I mean, I was pretty confident. I'm not going to say that for sure. I wasn't going to drop any, but there was a little wiggle, but I was confident. I didn't do the rabbit mode when I was backing up and turning around and then the turn, but then I hit the brakes and hit rabbit mode, and I just went sailing from there.
Nice.
I loved it.
It was really fun to watch. I'm excited to see how everybody else stacks up. You're going to give them a run for their money. So
I hope so.
awesome. All right. Who do we have next for you, Bill?
Well, Mike, Cullen Fountain has run the gauntlet here on our first two events, and now we'll see what Mr. Dana Bontrager has to do. What do you think about the competition so far?
I'm excited. First off, I want to give props to him. I know how hard it is being the first guy going out, and I think he did phenomenal. I think he set a great time. Let's see what they can do to beat it.
Very good. All right, Mr. Dana Bontrager, I'm going to count down, and on three, we're going to go. 1, 2, 3, and go! So let's see, he's not doing what Cullen did, and I think wisely. I think grabbing him, setting him to the side, and then positioning yourself for that trench.
We got a left-handed versus right-handed operator here.
Well,
We're going the other
see
direction.
what he's going to do. He is going to come at this trench from the other direction, opposite of what Cullen did, and nothing wrong with that. He is within the field of play here. I hadn't thought of any possible penalties.
So we're not between the cones.
We're not between the cones.
Get between the cones, can't be. Get between the cones.
So a little bit of miscommunication there, but Dana has repositioned now and is beginning his trench.
So I like what you've done here. The distance between the cones is the full reach of the machine, so there is something to be said about which way we come forward with the blade.
Yeah, and we separated the trenches far enough here that each trench is on truly undisturbed ground. And so Dana's here, he's digging his 1 foot deep trench. Again, we're looking for a 12-inch depth. And Bob will measure it to a tolerance of 2 inches on either side of that 12 inches. And that will determine if there are penalties as we go forward.
Now, I don't know if it's the operator or the machine or a combination of both, and they're not paying me to say this, but that is one smooth machine.
It is a smooth excavator, the an HX48 in a very popular size class. That 4.8 metric ton machine as far as a compact excavator goes, and you're going to be operating one a little bit later here in the Clash of Championships.
I'm excited. All right, task complete.
Nope,
No.
not just yet, not just yet. Bob was shouting some instructions at Dana.
I forget about the difficulty level of judging that Bob brings to the competition.
And here we go. Dana is moving on to the block part of the competition. So we saw with Cullen's run at this, we saw how quickly one of these blocks crumbled under the full weight of the hydraulic thumb.
Now he's going all the way out on the front. I'm not for sure what I think about that decision, but maybe he's got time to prove me wrong here.
All right, I think he might have something else in mind, but time will tell on that.
I see where you're going with that.
He is stacking.
That'd be less travel time with the machine.
I'm not saying that I know anything or overheard some strategy, but
I like the thought process. That's what I love about these competitions, Bill.
I think I know what he's doing. So he's repositioning that block now so that he doesn't need to reposition the machine. He's getting it aligned the same way as the other blocks in his stack. And we're finding with Dana here now, the same thing we found with Cullen. This takes maybe just a little more time than you would think it would.
It does.
We did the stacking of the Mafia blocks down in Georgia in the last national tournament. And it sounds so simple. Just take blocks that are similarly shaped and stack them on top of each other. It's not quite always that simple.
I like your proximity to this competition versus your proximity to the competition down there. I feel a lot safer with you over here, Bill.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, Mike. My insurer does as well. The time to beat here is 5 minutes 20 seconds. Right now, he's got a time of about 4:22. I do believe, from my eye on that trench, I do believe we'll end up with a penalty on that trench.
I agree.
But time will tell. But that would be a 15-second penalty. And so if he completes this in the next 20 seconds, that should still put him ahead of Cullen in this event 1. And he is setting the block down, and it is good, and I'm calling time. 4:48 for Dana, but we're gonna go take a look at that trench and assess a final time.
All right, let's talk to Dana. Dana, it was fun to watch.
He's still in first place even with the penalty.
You are in first place even with the penalty. You did a wonderful job stacking those blocks. Very nicely done. Tell us your run.
Didn't go quite as planned. I didn't quite understand the cone thing. I thought it was distance from cone to cone beside it, not necessarily in line. Outside of that, I thought it went pretty good. Pretty comfortable with the rest.
Wonderful. You did a great job. The time speaks for itself, right? So awesome. All right. First place. Let's go to event 2 with Dana.
Well, Mike, even with a slight time penalty there in his first stretch, Dana is in first place of event 1. Let's see if he can beat Cullen's time in event 2.
Let's do it.
All right, Dana, on the count of 3, we're going to have you go. 1, 2, 3, and go. He's making his way over to Bob. We tease Bob, but Bob in his day job helps run Diamond Equipment with 5 locations across 4 states. Our proud Hyundai dealer here. We know from experience that Bob is pretty stubborn with those trench backfills.
There is a lot of time to be gained or lost here.
Yes.
I think there's some time to be gained or lost in how you dig the trench and set the schools for round 2.
Yeah, and I thought that Dana was going to have a bit of an advantage there, but I think he maybe got a little sloppy. We'll see. Bob says he's good. Bob is sending him onto the forks. And he's, we're all going to back out of the way here now.
Smart move there. He had the bucket unlatched before he got there. Ready to go.
And so I think something that's going to be interesting to see here, Mike, he alluded, he gets a clumsy little bit of cattywampus there on the forks. But he had a strategy here, and he is sure as heck implementing it. We kind of thought he might do this when he set those blocks up this way.
This is one less difficult maneuver with the blocks on the skid. I like it.
Dana Bontrager is a smart man. He likes to keep things simple. He named his business Dana Bontrager Excavating.
Now we got the pallet, not quite the ideal way.
I would agree with you. It's a little cattywampus there. But he is making good time here. And barring a disaster, he is going to be positioned very well to take over the lead here from Cullen Fountain.
Smart move as well. He's got those blocks on the back of the skid, so if they fall backwards, they're going to lay up against the machine and not fall off on the ground.
And he took just a little extra time there, but here he comes down the skirt. Open it up, Dana. Dana Bontrager takes over sole possession of first place with a time of 2:22.
Dana, 222, that puts you in first place all the way around. I love how you grabbed that different positioning, took it from behind and hustled over. You did a great job. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it felt like a pretty solid run. Once I had them on there, I thought if I could get behind it, if they did wobble, I could at least catch them with the fork frame and keep them, and it worked out. Yep.
Awesome experience, the wisdom you have. Awesome. Well, good job. Let's see how the others stack up with competitor number 3.
Well, Mike, what we saw there was Dana Bontrager showing the young guys a little bit how it's done. He had an advantage over Cullen in both events and is definitely solid in first place.
What he also showed me is there is some room for improvement out there. There is some time on the table if somebody can grab it.
And I think we've identified some things, even with Dana's runs, that can still be solidified. Jeff Ulrey's at the controls now. Jeff is an instructor at the Warwick Pathways and Career Center in Boonville, Indiana. Let's see if he can take the rest of the competitors here to class. Jeff, on the count of 3, we're gonna start you down. 1, 2, 3, and go!
Going back with the thumb method here. That's a solid. I think that's the safe bet.
I think it's a safe bet. I know what Cullen was trying to do with the first one. And now I've seen it go both ways. Let's see which way Jeff decides to go with where he's going to position himself for digging this trench.
Got the boom hanging over the side there, making it a little difficult to turn, but he's getting it.
Jeff is he is losing some time here on the positioning.
Gonna do the jump turn.
Thank you, Miles. Our production team letting us know that no one wanted to see our backsides.
We just want to be close to the action, Bill. We just want to be close to the action.
And my backside looks good. I'm just gonna put that out there. So Jeff has got himself lined up here to dig his trench. He maybe lost a little bit of time there.
He's still got plenty of opportunities to bring it back, though. Nice and steady start here. See, he's paying attention to the placement of his spoils, which is going to help him in the backfill portion.
It is going to help him in the backfill portion. Bob said that Dana, this is all happening on a Friday, folks, here at the Lincoln Park Speedway. Bob informed us that Jeff's Saturday morning is going to be spent laying some pipe of his own. So,
real world implications in this challenge.
Real world implications in this challenge. He seems to have, if I'm picking up what I'm seeing, he's got kind of a depth eyeballed on his bucket there as to what he believes 12 inches to be about. And he's moving along steadily at that depth.
I'm not for sure if he's going to be 12 inches, but he's going to be consistent the way he's going.
He's going to be consistent, and but you almost wonder if he's being a little too careful here, wanting to be a good role model for his students in quality and taking your time to do it right. But taking your time in this part of the competition isn't going to be your friend. He's at about 2 minutes, 27 seconds right now.
This is one of those you also have to weigh out the penalty. Is the 15 seconds worth the damage?
Right. You're by your eyeball, you're thinking, Mike, he's going to get that 15-second penalty here?
I do believe. I can't see it completely, but I'm seeing not a clean start and not a clean finish.
Well, we will we'll switch positions here once once he moves on his way here. He is approaching the 3-minute mark, and I definitely, unless he has a magic and fast approach, eyeballed for those blocks, I think he's gonna not be in contention on time here.
Bob's gave him the okay, we're moving on.
Bob gave him the okay, we will switch spots. You know, up close here to the eyeball, that's actually not as off as we thought it might have been. But the tail of the tape will tell us where we're at here. So he's at 3:29, approaching the pallet and the 6 blocks to stack. The time to be right now is Dana Bontrager with 5:03. Cullen Fountain at 5:30.
A smart move there. He idled the machine down.
And we are, as a reminder to people, this is Mario Kart style scoring. So right now, Dana would have 4 points in both events. Cullen would have 3 points in both events. But now where Jeff finishes in both events here will obviously have an impact on that. He has crossed the 4-minute threshold. We're at 4 minutes, 15 seconds now.
Now, Commissioner, have you thought far enough ahead to know what's going to happen if we get a tie?
Mike, I haven't thought far enough ahead to find out if I'm going to have a bratwurst or a chili dog here when the hot laps start tonight. It's going to be oil wrestling as part of the Clash of Champions. And
I'm glad I've already qualified at this point, Bill.
I will be in the truck on the way home if it comes to that. No offense against any of our fine competitors here today.
Now, I've been impressed with everybody's block stacking. I thought this was going to be a little more challenging than what it is, and maybe it is. I haven't done it myself. But so far, we've only had 1 block casualty, and we've had no dominoes.
Oh, look at that. Oh, there we go.
I did it. I did it. I did it.
You jinxed him. Yeah. Time. So with the stopping of the clock there as he broke the second block and incurring a 10-second penalty, he was at a time of 5:15. We're going to add 10 seconds. That puts him at 5:25.
Mr. Jeff. Hello. So we have no penalties on the trench.
Wow.
You were doing great on timing. Unfortunately, just so much power with that thumb and the blocks. But
Yeah.
so we're at a time of 5:25. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, everybody out here seems to be pretty tough. I'm more of a part-timer than these guys, but I really considered strongly just busting every block versus stacking them. I thought I could have done that faster than stacking them anyway, so I'll take 2. It's all right. It's a great day.
It is a great day. You made it look wonderful. You did a great job. And now we have the next part of the event, and I think you can kick some butt there.
I hope so. If not, my kids are going to make fun of me next year. I'll be all right.
All right, well, let's go get them. Let's see how you do it this second run. Here we go.
Well, Mike, Jeff completed that first leg of the competition pretty adeptly, and then he just got a little heavy on the thumb control there with the blocks.
A little overzealous there at the end.
Well, we're going to see how he brings home the second leg of this challenge as he backfills his trench and then crosses the finish line with his partial block stack. Jeff, are you ready, sir?
Yes,
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and go. Mike, you almost died. I think Bob is really enjoying his role here as an official trench master.
This may be the most authority he's got in a long time.
Right? I know, as a quality salesman with Diamond Equipment and helping run that fine organization, he probably doesn't end up on the winning end of a lot of arguments with customers, but here Bob is in control. No, we joke. Bob's great.
If I feel a little sorry for the competitors, he might be taking a little bit out on them. But I do want to point out his technique of how he put his spoils on the outside of that pile is kind of paying off on his back.
It's paying off on him, but he seems to be a little tentative, and now he's going to go. Oh, I thought he was going to go with the backtrack over it method. Instead, he's going to work on it from the other end. And
oh, Bob approved that.
Bob approved it.
Smooth exchange.
Remember, I said the only thing, it just needs to be full.
And it is that.
I stated that 3 times.
It is that. It is full. He gets a clumsy exchange there on the forks. And he is visually going to ensure that it's locked in there.
All the knocking equipment definitely knows the importance of making sure the forks are locked.
I feel like there's a story there, Mike, we maybe don't want to tell on a National Equipment League broadcast.
Not only is there a story, there is video.
There's video of it. Jeff coming in, I think he's going to be at an advantage here because with only one block on the one side, there's actually only so much that can go wrong now at this point.
I think at this point you have nothing to lose. You just go for it.
Yeah. And here he comes. He's making his way down to the skirt of the racetrack. And he's taking his time a little bit. I think maybe he was concerned. He was wobbling a little bit. We do see that some of those blocks moved on him a little bit. He only has one stack. It would be a shame if that one stack caused him time and tumbled here.
I've also noticed he's using the foot throttle to help feather his control. Home stretch.
That's a whole other argument, Mike, that we're not going to solve here today.
301.
Jeff crosses the finish line at 301, which this does put him in third place in this piece of the competition. Jess, let's talk to Jeff and see what he has to say.
Jeff, that was great. You were hauling ass when you got there. Brakes were staying steady. Tell us about it.
The ride control thing's like cheating, you know. It's like you laid them in mortar, but yeah, man, I feel okay about it. I don't know where I'm at right now in it, but I'll take it for the day.
Awesome. Well, you did a great job. You are in third place currently. Let's see how the fourth contestant does and where we wrap up here.
I think Robert's going to be the problem. He's got to watch, and I think he's pretty slick.
You did wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today. We're so excited. Back to you, Bill.
Well, Mike, they're starting to prep the track for the sprint car races here tonight, and we're saddling up for our final competitor of round one.
It's still wide open.
It's still wide open. Mike Fry is going to go for it. Mike Fry of Fry Drainage and Excavating out of Farmersburg, Indiana. Dana Bontrager still has the time to beat here with a time of 5:03 in round one. We're going to see if Mike Fry is ready to go. Mike, you ready? On the count of three, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and go! So Mike commented on one of your YouTube videos, Mike, and then he reached out to me. And next thing you know, he's here competing for a spot in the trip to Georgia.
He's off to a good start as well.
He's off to a good start, and I don't know why I'm surprised, but
I'm curious to see how this works. This is exactly what I've been envisioning, is not twisting and turning the machine, but it's going to be very difficult to dig that trench on grade right up against the machine.
It's going to be difficult to do so, but he seems confident, and I'm more surprised. I thought more people would continue going to the outer side of the track and dig towards the track. But this makes sense. In theory, you're maybe shortening your run here by a few steps going inside.
He's taking some big scoops that may hurt him a little bit when it comes backfill time.
And to measurement time.
If he's
over digging. He's going to be outside of tolerance, and that'll be an addition of 15 seconds.
This is where it's going to get interesting, is that last 4 or 5 feet. We're going to figure out what the flexibility of the little Hyundai is.
And we're going to walk around and take a look at the trench as he's digging it as well. You know, Bob has a watchful eye on it. Mike is smooth. He's very smooth.
He is.
I think you know, you can tell that he knows what he's doing there.
Yeah, but he ran into the issue I was afraid of.
He's realizing exactly what it was that you talked about, but now he's expertly maneuvering that cab into a position with that offset boom.
Good move.
Where he can attack that angle on the trench.
Length is good, you do the depth to you.
And Bob is going to say he's good on length. Depth is up to you, is what I think I just heard Bob say.
My eye tells me he's getting a little deeper as he goes.
Yeah, my eye tells me he maybe needs to just clean out just a hair more at that closest point to him, but he could be a little deep there at about the 9-foot mark. And he's going to move on to the next thing at 224.
Good time.
Mike is moving on his way to the blocks. And you might ask yourself, Mike, you know, we had a couple people say, why don't they just you know, kind of mess up immediately on the trench and then move on and take the 15-second penalty?
I think you mean by a couple people, that was me.
Well, but we have had people, you know, ask that question. We won't say who. But the point being is that we've told people you need to try to complete the challenge in good faith.
Must attempt
to finish the challenge as planned. Mike is being a little rougher with those blocks than Mike. They were getting our backside again, and we just got scolded. I thought I did enough squats to make that an attractive shot before filming today.
Apparently we're not good, Bill.
Apparently we're not good enough.
So back to the rules here, Commissioner. They just have to be stacked 3 high. It don't matter if one's laying on its side.
You just got to be stacked 3 high.
Perfect.
As long as there's 2 stacks of 3.
We're good to go.
And you know, he's making up some speed here by not being as delicate with the stacking.
You just got to hope that don't bite him.
It could bite him when he goes down in round 2 to take her down the track.
He's making really good time, though.
And every one of these guys is getting to live the dream. And some of these guys might do a little racing on the side, but everyone wants that moment of taking it and opening it up down the straightaway at the end. And everyone is getting their chance to do that in the HT100V CTL today. Let's hope they don't spill any blocks along the way.
It's gonna be a good run. It's gonna be close.
It's gonna be close. He's gotta pick it up a little bit here. I see what he's doing there. And the way that 6th and final block is positioned, if he grabs that pretty quickly here.
Oh,
Mike Fry looking to set the standard here in a run on round 1. And he does with a time of 4:32. Even if Mike gets penalized in the trench, that will be good enough for first place in round 1.
nice job.
Mr. Michael, that was a fabulous run. I'm going to ask you first how you think you did, and then I'll share some news with you. So
I really don't know. I know my trench wasn't great. It was a little hard to get used to the machine. Yeah. But I think I stacked the blocks pretty quick. They not look the best, but watching all the other competitors carry the bricks, I don't think it really makes a difference. They're all standing up pretty straight once they move the skid steer, so I don't think it really mattered to have to get them perfect.
Well, you did great. The time was great. So you were at 4:32, which was first place. But your trench was a little bit deeper at 15 inches, so there was the 15-second penalty. So that puts you at 4:47, which is still first place.
That's great.
So that's wonderful. Yep. Great job. Let's see how you do here in that second part and see if you can keep the lead. And we'll see what happens. So great job. All right, let's see how it goes.
In further celebration of the National Equipment League Clash of Champions, Bryan Furnace showed up. Bryan, we're on the last competitor of round 2, so you're a little late, but sit back, watch, get some tips. Some of this stuff is going to be what you guys are doing. Mike's been watching all day, so
So what I'm hearing is Mike has a little bit of a home court advantage, and now he's got a little behind the scenes advantage.
But he didn't have the manicure you had done today,
Well,
so you got that advantage.
what I'm hearing is excuses.
Spa day went late.
You know who doesn't have any excuses? Mike Fry, who took first place in his first round of run 2, which will give him 4 points in our Mario Kart style scoring. Let's see if he can do the same here with round 2. Mike, are you ready, sir? On the count of 3, Bryan, get out of the way.
Yes, sir.
On the count of 3, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and go! Mike is attacking that trench. Backfilling it with the HT 100V from Hyundai.
He's staying in high gear too, which is going to hurt his maneuverability a little bit.
He's
But
staying in high gear.
as we learned last time, it just has to be full.
It just has to be full, and I think he's maybe going to try to take advantage of that. And Bob's good graces, but I can see a low spot here on this end, and Bob does not suffer anybody trying to get one over on him. Anyway, Bob wants him to. Boy, I'm glad we kind of tagged Bob in for this part of it, and no one's yelling at me for my judgment calls. I think Mike, I think he tried to take as long as it's full thing.
We got our blessing.
He got her blessing. He's going to maneuver into position now to drop the forks.
I hope he doesn't drop the forks, Bill. I would say the goal at this point is pick him up.
We're off.
See, he's doing the pressure test as well.
Absolutely. I don't know.
Again, not bad for him to do that, but at the same time.
It looks like he's doing a great job. He is doing a great job.
He did not take the backwards approach. He's
Well, no, and he's attacking.
he's got a hybrid of the approaches.
A little bit different, and he is gonna drop. I don't think his blocks are gonna make it, Mike. What do you think? There we go.
Looking good,
He's
Bill.
gonna have to get out. We have our first competitor of the day that's gonna have to get out of the machine and restack his blocks. That is a smart move. I'll accept it because the time penalty he's giving himself here is penalty enough. As you'll remember, we said that as long as they stay on the pallet, that's good. So he has all 6 blocks on the pallet.
I don't know where the course is, so.
And he is going to come down the straightaway here now at full speed and try to do what he can to take first place.
That's going to be tight.
It's going to be tight. He's not going to do it. Mike Fry with a speed of 237. When his tail end got passed, that puts him in 2nd place in event 2. And we're gonna do some math here to find out where everyone sits after Mario Kart scoring. Jess, why don't you go talk to Mike and see how he's doing?
You were hauling ass. You were going hard. Tell us about it.
I got the penalty right off the start. I knew I had the penalty, so I just had to pick up the blocks. Just will lay them all down. Not going to fall over that way.
I mean, that was kind of smart, right? You got the chance to lay them out even, less of a chance to spill them when you're going, and so that's good.
You don't have to worry about them falling over then.
That's right. Okay, so you finished 2nd in that event. So that puts you and Dana at a tie for 1st place going into our 3rd event. So let's see how it all shakes out in that next event. Dana and Michael tied for 1st.
Well, big drama here at the Lincoln Park Speedway in Putnamville, Indiana, as we've got a really tight knot up in the top 2. Mike Fry and Dana Bontrager are tied for 1st place with 7 points.
Dead even.
Dead even, and then also dead even. Cullen Fountain and Jeff Ulrey tied, you could say 2nd place, you could also say last for 3 points. So we've informed both Cullen and Jeff that they are statistically eliminated from winning this qualifier.
But they can still play a
huge spoiler.
The
they can be a huge spoiler in how this thing ends. Event 3, you've seen this one before in the national competition. This is our game of pickup sticks, only this time we're doing it with a mini excavator. where each operator will stack landscape timbers 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to stay standing. So we've instructed every operator to give it their all. Cullen Fountain is gonna kick it off for us. Cullen, are you ready, sir?
Ready when you are.
Cullen Fountain, on the count of 3, we're gonna go. 1, 2, 3, and go.
So what's the objective here, Bill?
You gotta stack the timbers in a 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 structure, and we're not so harsh on the actual design, but you gotta think about it. If you were to stack too narrowly at the bottom, by the time you get to the top, you're gonna have an unsteady house. And ironically enough, we saw that with Mr. Jeff Dodge when we did this similar event down in Georgia. I'm seeing Cullen put a strategy together here. I think I know what he's doing. He's grouping timbers in similar orientations, and then he will reposition the machine to be in the optimal position to set those timbers. He is going to have to move here a little bit to get that odd one here at the end.
I think all the time is going to be gained or lost on this challenge by positioning of the machine.
How little or how much you move it. But I don't mind what he's doing. You might look at that and say he's spreading things out far apart. I would say he's building a wide base so that he can be a little more aggressive when he gets to the 3rd and 4th tiers. If our National Equipment League banner becomes a victim there, I'd be okay with that. That'd make for some good YouTube. But Cullen is trying to be respectful, not taking our banner out. See, now what I think he's gonna do here, I think he's gonna real quick grab those 2. No, he's not. That's a choice.
I see where you were going with that, Bill.
That is a choice. He built such a wide bottom base. I think he could have been aggressive there, grabbed the 2, set them both down at once.
Grab the other 2,
and then grab the other 2, and he's
going for quality and stability over speed.
We said this in the Boulder wall build. Now he's fine. He doesn't realize he's fine. We're not going for aesthetically pleasing there.
Oh, do we have the reach? We do.
And see, now if he's smart, he will just get into position to put those at some form of 90 degrees. Cullen came into this hot to contend, a excellent operator clearly, and he's had some missteps. Time! 2 minutes, 48 seconds. He's had some missteps that I think he'll learn for the next time he does this, but he will not be joining us in Carnesville, Georgia. Jess, what does Cullen have to say?
All right, Cullen, that was amazing. I loved the style there. You dropped both 2 at once. That takes skill. Tell me about it. What was your favorite part?
Pretty much the whole thing. I kind of had it dialed in my head there from the start. Felt good. Definitely thinking getting him closer, to stack and whatnot, so you're not moving as much. I think it worked pretty good in my favor, and I gave the rest of the guys some pointers, so it'll be all right.
They're definitely going to be copycats, I think. You gave them a lot to think about. So thanks so much for being here. It was great to have you here with the National Equipment League. And let's see how the second contestant plays out.
Despite knowing he's eliminated from official qualification, Cullen Fountain still gave it quite the run here.
He did.
But I think as we both commented throughout, there's some area to improve on, some time to shave off. Cullen sits in first place with a time of 2:48. But now we turn to Mr. Jeff Ulrey. Jeff, on the count of 3, we're going to have you get after it. 1, 2, 3, and go! So right there already, smart man. He looked at his surroundings, and he said, "What is the minimal amount of work I have to do to get a first foundation laid?" And look at this. I think he's done a little bit of this. He has looked around to see which timbers are in a position that if I just grab them where I'm at, they are in a perpendicular position. That's good, Jeff. That's good.
Oh, that was almost a costly move.
Jeff is tinkering with things.
Oh, man.
So when we look back at Jeff's run here, we're going to say he didn't have to do any of this.
I think the lesson learned here is if it's not broke, don't fix it.
And I heard the peanut gallery yelling from over on the side. I don't know if he heard something from the peanut gallery that led him to change direction. All he's got to do is get that.
He's going to look back on this run with some regret.
I really feel bad for Jeff here.
Does it have something to do with the name Jeff and stacking blocks? Because we're seeing a theme here.
It could be. I think he had, I think there was some feedback from the peanut gallery that threw him off. And
he's not giving up, though. He's not giving up.
He's not giving up, but he was doing what I thought was a very clear strategy. And all he had to do was keep going. Jeff, that counts. You can keep going if you want. I needed to say that to him because I think he was so focused on.
So this is going to leave Dana in a position if he just has to have a good solid run complete.
Well, both Dana and Mike,
that is true.
They're tied at 7. So
yep.
Depending on how those two fall on either side of Cullen and what Jeff is doing here now.
Taking advantage of the side boom, not a horrible plan here.
No, but he's got to get it positioned right. See, I think he had the idea, but he didn't carry the execution.
Yeah, now he's going to put himself in a bad spot here.
Now, if he had just rotated that boom around, see, he's rotating, I believe, the wrong part of the machine. But now he's just going for a full reposition. This does have shades of Jeff Dodge Summer 2024 written all over it.
We can't talk about Jeff Dodge. He's not here to defend himself.
He is here to defend himself.
Well,
that man will be here tonight.
He's going to be defending himself with a little more horsepower.
With his sprint car, Jeff will be here on the dirt track tonight.
Carrying the National Equipment League banner.
Carrying the National Equipment League banner. That was nice of him to do that. We share the same mission of the joint mission of making the construction industry cool again. And part of us doing that has been through the popularization of and trying to show more mainstream audiences how fun and competitive the construction industry can be.
And just educating people that there's very talented people in this industry and you can make a really good living in this industry.
Yep.
All right.
There you go. I'm gonna let him reposition here a little bit if he wants, but that meets the desired impact of 2x2. We learned in that very first event today, the nudging of these timbers with the bucket of the mini excavator.
They just don't quite
it
slide the way you
doesn't quite work
think.
out the way you want it to. Jeff is already at the 4-minute, 13-second mark. I feel safe to say that I see what he's doing here now. He's doing maybe what he should have done a little bit ago. He's going to get them both close enough that he can snatch them up in a single scoop and then hopefully have enough width to set them down on top of that structure.
Going for the 2-for-1, but he just don't quite have his angles right to make that work.
You know who this is very instructive for? This is very instructive for Dana and Mike, who are about to go head-to-head for all the marbles in this. But see, now even he's got his whole machine and everything in a position where he's just
not quite.
I almost want to go in there and kick it a little bit, but that would be cheating.
You're the commissioner, not the competitor.
I am the commissioner, not the competitor. Someone said, Bill, we need a season where you compete. I don't know about that. I don't know that any of us want that.
Oh, that'll
there
work.
It is. Time, 5:09.
Well, we got it marked where they all go now. He dug divots for us.
Jeff,
Oh, yes.
you did good. Tell us about it.
Well, my plan didn't work just quite like I was hoping it was going to, and that ended up being pretty awful, kind of like watching old people eat or something. It just wasn't great.
It was difficult with the certain angle, but you
Grabbing dirt, it was terrible.
you didn't give up.
I had a great time, man. It was fun. You know, I'm glad they had us up here, so it is what it is.
You did great. You did great. All right, let's go to competitor number 3.
Well, Mike, you're holding the inaugural Diamond Equipment National Equipment League Qualifier Trophy. That's a pretty good piece of hardware to take home, in addition to the trip to Georgia to compete against you.
Yeah.
We're going to see now the first of 2 men who have the opportunity to take this trophy home. The first is Mr. Dana Bontrager of Dana Bontrager Excavating. Dana, we're going to have you go here on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and go!
Definitely be interesting to see the strategy here as well.
And it's not like we can even, create a narrative around the difference between these 2 guys going for the championship. One finished first in event 1, the other finished first in event 2, and then each of them flip-flop second place in the following event. So we have 2 gentlemen tied. As much as the other guy could play spoiler, really what comes down to is which of these 2 gentlemen finishes first.
He's off to a strong start. I really like the maneuver he did there in the beginning.
He's off to a strong start. He has half his structure built, and it wasn't even about the 30-second mark.
I wondered about this move.
Smart man, Dana Bontrager.
Nice, very nice.
You can put that on the back of a t-shirt if you want, Dana. I called you a smart man. He's doing a little bit, and he's going to do it again here. A little bit of what I thought I saw Jeff begin to do in that last run, which was being really smart about, don't worry, Dana, we're not using those for any actual landscaping. You're good to go. We won't charge you. We won't charge you those. And here he is, smart man.
Finishing strong,
finishing strong, showing why he's in top. And we have a time of 1:23. Putting Dana Bontrager in first place.
Dana, that was impressive. Tell me about it.
Well, my plan worked. I kept eyeing them, thinking if I can make those moves and make it count and don't drop any in the process, I might have a chance, and it worked out.
You did great. You hustled that. It was very impressive. So fun to watch. Let's see how the last competitor does and see if you'll be taking home first place or not. So let's see.
Alrighty, thank you.
Good job, good job. All right, here we go.
Well, Mike, it comes down to this. We just witnessed what may have been one of the
cleanest
most
runs,
smooth and deft runs that we've seen in the National Equipment League. What does that time say there, Mike?
1:23, 1:23.
1:23 is the time to beat. That's the only number that matters. If Mike Frey can beat 1:23, he will be the National Equipment League Diamond Equipment Qualifier. If he cannot, Dana Bontrager has punched his ticket to Georgia. No pressure, Mike. Are we set to go, sir? On the count of 3, we're gonna go. 1, 2, 3, and go. I don't know, we could sit here and talk strategy, Mike. I don't even know where to start and how someone beats 1:23.
I think the strategy at this point is you just let it all hang out and go for it and hope for the best.
And there is.
That is a tough time. He's off to a strong start, though. He's going to give it a run for his money.
So what did we say? We said Dana had his first 2 tiers in place at around the 30-second mark, and actually
he's right there on it.
He's right there on it. Mike Frey not giving up.
These 2 are going to be the make or break ones, I'm afraid.
1:23, the time to beat, and the final determination. He's smart. He's going to sit those down. He's going to sit 2 down to be the final. Well, I thought I knew what he was doing. Now I'm not so sure. Oh, now I do know what he's doing.
This is where Dana made all of his time up. He never tracked the machine hardly.
He never tracked the machine, but I think Mike might be crazy as a fox. He's got about 13 seconds to do what I think he's gonna do. There we go. He should. Oh, see, this is it. That's it. He started tinkering, and the minute you tinker, it's all done. There we are. Dana Bontrager will be our Diamond Equipment Qualifier champion, but I don't want to take anything away from Mike here.
No.
Mike is, he's closing this thing out as a professional wood. He's still in good position here to have the second fastest score. And he can probably tell in the cab of the machine by the fact that we're not shouting that his time has passed. But, and he did something there we've seen people do, which is sometimes you catch the corner of the blade with your thumb. And if he drops this here and it stays up, I want you to nudge him up a little bit, Mike. He's got the Jeff Dodge experience here. If it wasn't for the fact that we need to get the final rankings here.
There we go.
There we go. 224.
Mr. Michael, you did great. We got them all. You had a little trouble with that one, and it was. I liked though how you smoothed it, pulled it back out here, and
Just wasn't a good round. It just my nerves got me.
You.
The last guy, he did great. He really did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you did a great job. We're going to go to the commissioner for the standings here. Thank you so much for coming out today. The National Equipment League loves having you here. You did a great job.
Good time. Had a great time. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Lots to be proud of here. Thanks so much. All right, Commissioner, wrap it up for us. Let us know who is our first place winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stands are starting to fill up here at Lincoln Park Speedway, and we have completed the first ever National Equipment League qualifier, the first ever Diamond Equipment qualifier, and we are proud to announce as in first place the winner and earning a spot in our next National Equipment League tournament in Georgia, Mr. Dana Bontrager.
Dana, congratulations for traveling all the way down from Middlebury, Indiana, and I guess supporting the North. We'll take it even though we're Southerners, but that's beside. But congratulations. Great. Congratulations to all the competitors.
Dana, congratulations. We're excited to have you to go head-to-head against guys like this. What does this mean to you, and are you excited to join us in Georgia here in a little over a month?
I am. It's a privilege. It was a fun time, good event. It was a good day. Great.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you all for watching. We're going to get out of the way, let the sprint cars do their thing, and then we'll have the Clash of Champions here later tonight. Thank you, and watch us next time on the National Equipment League. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lincoln Park Speedway in Putnamville, Indiana, where we have the first ever Clash of Champions for the National Equipment League. We have inaugural champion Bryan going head-to-head with current champion Mike Dirt Perfect Simon. We put together a head-to-head competition here today, and the gentlemen are going to start. We're going to see who's the fastest on their feet. We're going to start right here where it's going to end at the finish line. Welcome to Clash of Champions. Thank you to everyone joining us here today at Lincoln Park Speedway. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Ready.
Folks, are you ready? All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and go! All right, we are off. So Mike is first into the machine. He is moving in the HX48A. Bryan is also also tracking over, and the first test that we're going to have folks do here today is the trenching of a 15-foot, 12-inch deep trench. And we got both guys approaching the trench here about the same time. Bryan Furness is the first with his bucket in the dirt, but Mike is not far behind him. Mike is here. He stopped just a little short. I just need you to get a little further, Mike. Bob Brucken of Diamond Equipment is on the other trench with Bryan Furness, and we are both monitoring each competitor to make sure that they get a trench that is the proper length and the proper depth. And I see that Bryan's got quite a bit of dirt there on the spoil pile. But Mike is really the first to move his machine.
Good.
He's getting close to that 15-foot length, about a foot deep. Mike is about ready to move on. Bryan Furness is the first to the matchsticks. Mike, you're good. Head on to the matchsticks. So next, each competitor is taking 4 landscape timbers and stacking them as matchsticks 2 by 2. We did this in the qualifying event with the qualifiers earlier today, and we're doing a shortened, truncated version of it here in the Clash of Champions. Mike is working to move his timbers into place. He is got a little bit of dirt there with him, but I see what he's doing. He's gonna lay him down, and good, you're good, Mike. Mike is now on to the block stacking. Bryan Furness has just a little bit of a lead on Mike. Oh, and Bryan a little heavy on the thumb there. He crushes his first block. They have to stack these 2 by 2, 2 stacks of 2, and then each competitor is going to hop out of the machine and hop into the CTL, at which point they will go and backfill the trench that they dug, drop the bucket, grab the forks, and then come and grab their pallet of cinder blocks. And Mike has made up some time. Bryan beat him to the start of this. Good, Mike, you're good. On to the CTL. Mike does not follow safety protocols. He leaves the bucket in the air, but this is a head-to-head championship exhibition, and we will not penalize him for that. Mike beats Bryan to the CTL. Bryan's struggling with there he goes, he got control. I think Bryan was struggling with the hydraulic button on the CTL, but he is speeding up. He is taking his time. Just flatten it out for me a little bit, Mike, and then you're good. All right, on to the forks. Mike now will draw. Oh, he hits his forks in the interest of speed, and in doing so, he got a little bit sideways there with the forks, but his pallet of block.
Good.
Bryan Furness just drops his bucket in the middle of that trench and moves to the forks. Mike Simon is going to be your inaugural Clash of Champions victor. Mike Simon crosses the finish line first, and he's doing donuts on the dirt track here in Putnamville. He's wrecking both flags only as Dirt Perfect can. Good for you, Mike. We wouldn't have it any other way. Bryan Furness is making his way here now towards the finish line. Where's my camera? Where's Miles? There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the inaugural Clash of Champions with Bryan Furness and Dirt Perfect. Let's talk to the guys, see how it went. So Brian, it looks like we had a little bit of problem maybe getting the hydraulic button to go.
The skid steer wasn't on.
Well, that's on the operator.
Yeah.
That's
we fired her up, and I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But she was not fired up when I got in her, so we had to do a quick restart. I will say, from a timing standpoint, taking that into play,
yeah,
I'm happy with the time. I wasn't that far behind.
Yeah, no, you guys did real good.
A hot start on us.
You were actually leading at the beginning.
Oh, I saw. And then it got my.
We gave the folks a good intermission here, and now Mikey hit one of their bow flags, but we'll act like that didn't happen. We'll get moving here. And thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in July. You'll see these gentlemen and some new faces and some old faces in Season 3 of the National Equipment League. Until then, be safe, and we'll see you soon.